The Soccer World Cup, how Germany is preparing for its shot at the championship title. In the interview, Germany national soccer team manager Oliver Bierhoff.
Oliver Bierhoff, we're here at the training camp for the German team as you get ready for the World Cup. How are the preparations going?
Hier wird die WM gemacht. Wie laufen die Vorbereitungen?
It's going very well. It's bad luck, but good for German football that Bayern and Bremen were in the cup final, and Bayern are in the Champions League final. So we don't have all the players here yet. The Bremen players are now here, and the Bayern players will join us when we move to our second camp in South Tyrol. But we've already done a lot of work. It's especially important to build up a sense of team spirit with our young players, for them to spend some time here with their families and clear their heads. And then we can get down to the real work on the pitch in South Tyrol.
But I have to ask, aren't you getting a bit worried about the team slowly but surely? The players arriving in dribs and drabs, parts of the team need to be changed or improved. Another captain, Michael Ballack, is out due to injury. Is there anything positive to report, to give you a bit of optimism?
We have quite a few positive things. We have some very interesting young players. We've got players from Bayern Munich who are going to be arriving here brimming with confidence after a very successful season. They're in top form. Of course, it can be a disadvantage that they're not here from the start, but they've got real self-confidence from their team's performance. But yes, the really big loss for us is Michael Ballack, both as a player and as the team's leader.
Can that really work with the young players? They have to move up now, take on responsibility.
It has to work. You can't demand too much of them. And we can't just pass all the responsibility on to the new captain. All the players have to come together, even more, and that demands something of everyone. And of course, we've got players like Mertesacker, Lahm, Schweinsteiger, all of them young, but with 60 internationals behind them, so we do have enough experience.
Do you have a new captain?
Not yet, no. We'll discuss it carefully, wait for the Bayern players to arrive, hope there aren't any more injuries. But people sometimes place too much weight on the role of the captain. And with Michael Ballack gone, several players will have to take on a leadership role.
You've chosen two different locations for training, one in the very south of Italy, the other at the opposite end of the country. Why is that?
Firstly, to provide more variety. We'll be in South Tyrol for 14 days, and we wanted to do the individual training in a different atmosphere, with the families here and everything. Somewhere where it's a bit warmer, the sea nearby, a bit more to see and do, really. So that's why we've broken it up, just as we did before the last World Cup in 2006.
A while back, people used to laugh at these fitness exercises, the rubber twist it's called. These days, any club worth its salt has a fitness trainer on board. Does that give you a sense of gratification, or does it make you want to try more new things? Or both, perhaps?
I wouldn't say gratification, but it does confirm what I always believed in, and it's important to have the courage to do such things. Sometimes when you lead the way like that, when you're the first to do it, you often get criticized for it. But many things that we introduced have proved to be very worthwhile.
Has the role of the national team manager changed in the last 6 years?
I think I've given the job a very strong profile. Initially, everything was very focused on the team and the work with Jürgen Klinsmann. And after the switch to Joachim Löw, I started taking on more tasks also for the German Football Association, and I began to see the whole picture. Of course, the 2006 World Cup was a special event, taking place in our home country, all the drama of that, and the situation surrounding Jürgen Klinsmann. I think I was the fireman and the diplomat, bringing everyone together, and in the last 4 years, I've tried to push a lot of things forward myself.
You say diplomat, but are you less diplomatic than you were? You take a tougher stance these days, sometimes offending people. What's behind that?
Above all, my belief in what I'm doing. If something needs to be done, then you reach the stage sometimes where diplomacy isn't enough. You have to talk about things directly to move them forward. And sometimes I go overboard just to get a reaction. When I was a player, people said I didn't have any rough edges. Over the last 6 years, I think I've shown that that's not true.
There's been a lot of discussion over your contract after the World Cup. Can you still work together with the FA?
Of course, in businesses or even in families, people get on each other's nerves when they disagree. You have to put that behind you. What matters to me is working closely with the coaches and the team and the officials looking after them. And there we have 100% harmony.
So how is your collaboration with Joachim Löw?
Very good, very positive. Similar to with Jürgen Klinsmann. Apart from managing the team, it's my job to be close to the coaches and the players, to spot any changes in the atmosphere or the mood, and to help out and keep that under control. And because we have so much trust in one another, there is no vanity at play, no politics involved, just complete openness. And that makes everything much easier.
Back to the players. Bastian Schweinsteiger now has to take on Michael Ballack's role in the team, and that puts Sami Khedira in the spotlight. He'll have a key role in midfield. The team is getting ever younger. Is that positive or negative?
Im Mittelfeld, es fällt auf, die Mannschaft wird immer jünger. Positiv oder negativ für so eine Entwicklung?
I think we should be glad we have so many young and interesting players. That wasn't always the case in recent decades. We've got a lot of players from the under-21s here, and that was the right choice. A lot of them, like Manuel Neuer and Sami Khedira, have already taken on a lot of responsibility in their teams, and now they're ready for the next step.
How do you have to work as a team in a tournament like this, with just 7 matches between you and the World Cup?
Well, it's crucial to make a good start. It's important the team is unified and the players trust one another, that they help and support each other, and always put the team ahead of individual performance. That can compensate for a lot, and the German team has shown that many times. And of course, you have to remember that there's no such thing as an easy game, no matter who your opponent is. The group we're in, with Australia, Serbia and Ghana, is a tough one.
We hear about problems with the accommodation in South Africa, security concerns, issues with the training grounds. Are you confident it will all work?
Wie groß ist die Zuversicht, dass am Ende doch alles passt?
Very confident. We saw how well it went at the Confederations Cup. You have to accept that it's Africa, not Europe. Even if some things are a bit last minute, it always works in the end.
All the teams taking part want to get as far as possible, but Germany's ambition is always more than that. It's to reach the final. Are you confident of achieving that?
Wie groß ist Ihre Zuversicht, dass wir ins Finale kommen?
Well, it's important to believe that's possible, but of course other teams look stronger on paper, Brazil and Spain in particular. But our aim is always to play attractive football. We want to make a good impression as a team in Africa, to show our hosts we're happy to be there, and to be good ambassadors for our country. And then we'll see how each round goes. No 2 tournaments are the same.
You just named your 2 favourites. Any other teams you think will do well?
I see those 2 teams slightly ahead. Then there are England doing well under Fabio Capello and Argentina. And I think our team is at that level as well. And there are African teams who will play with great pride and commitment on their own continent.
Who would you most like to face in the final in Johannesburg on July the 11th?
I'd love us to play Italy and get revenge for 2006, and I think we could beat them.
Oliver Bierhoff, I hope your wishes come true, and thank you for talking to DW TV.